And we're back. Welcome to the Intellectual Masters World Championship. It is game 3, the deciding game between Team Solo Mid and Origin. NALCS and EULCS, one of them goes home. In terms of how the sides were decided for game 3, the team that won in the faster time had the option. This was Origin by around 40 seconds. They opted into blue side. They were blue side when they beat TSM in game 2, and they used that Callista. And Deficio, everything you said in picks and bans came true. The Trundle holding Fiora, buying time for TF to get there, the impact in team fights, it just nullified all of those strengths. So, are you going to do it again?
I mean, problem is that now you've shown the trick. You've shown the Trundle pick into the Fiora and the way you play with TF, so Team Solo Mid can just draft around it.
Okay.
Either say, first of all, we don't need to early pick Fiora, if that's the case, or we ban potentially a Twisted Fate away, because like, it's not even like Power Vivo played a good game, in my opinion, on Twisted Fate. He actually struggled quite a lot, but it is enough just having that threat against the Fiora to stop it from pushing.
I think the biggest thing is do not give Callista to OG.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Sven is just like one, if not like the top 3 Callista player in the world probably. This champion just enables Mythy too, and if you give like a really good support this tool of having the ultimate from Callista, he can just do like a lot of really good things for your entire team. So Callista's like gonna be like the really important pick here.
But then what do they sacrifice? Because in the previous game, TSM banned Alistar, Lulu, Gragas. If
you leave Gragas up.
Leave Gragas up and ban the Callista?
I think, I mean, the Callista itself didn't like solo win the game, because like Team Solo Mid had multiple times where they were actually ahead and were looking to win the game. It just makes it so much easier for Origin to team fight and create picks, because as you said, Mythic can play aggressive. And also the 2v2 lane. Calista Thresh is probably the strongest 2v2. And then you have Sven and Mythic playing it against Yellowstar and Doublelift. Like, that's a free win for Origin in that lane.
Corki's being banned out. I mean, even if it's lost, I think it did like a lot in that game actually. But
a lot of damage. But what does that mean has changed for Origin? They banned LeBlanc, Nautilus, Lissandra. Nautilus is available. Gragas is still available, and Alistar as well. Alistar and Braum.
Alistar is the big one here, because you want to take that away from Yellowstar at the same time. So I predict an Alistar first pick coming in. But then again, Team Solo Mid can predict the same and say we're going to trade it for multiple OPs ourselves. Fiora is open one more time if they want to pick it.
Not that early again, I imagine.
I don't think so. I think Alistar give Mythy that support that he wants to play. It's like his best champion by far, like since 3 seasons.
And would you go Alistar and not Lucian now? Because if Alistar and Braum are up, but with all the 80 carries out the pool, surely Lucian's more valuable.
The thing about Lucian is that, yes, he's now the strongest 80 carry left, but a lot of other teams have adapted and started playing like Caitlyn. Quite a lot Doublelift plays it at least, quite a bit. And you can always pick it into Lucian, and then yes, he's a good first pick still, but you have an answer. You can also go Ezreal if you want.
Yeah, I do agree though. Like, Lucian is like a really good choice simply because of the fact that both supports are open, so you just trade it and get like a better 80 carry here in that case.
I think still, I would honestly have picked the Alistar, because I think it is the best champion for Yellowstar, and he's been struggling in this series here. Just take that away from him. I mean, he might still go Braum, blocks the calling from Lucian, obviously, if he wants to pick it like that. But Alistar is just such a high priority pick for both teams. And he just enables so many things in terms of how aggressive you can play early games, set up dives, and his teamfight presence is just insane.
Yeah, it really, really is. We'll see if Yellowstar decides to lock in Alistar. The music is incredibly ominous for this deciding game, so major props to the production team for that one. And as the 10 seconds runs down, you have to expect the safe option of maybe 80 carry support. Alternatively, maybe grabbing the Gragas. Or
actually take away the TF.
Now that's very early, and that's really calling Power of Evil's champion pool out.
You know, Power of Evil, he has Syndra left, so he can just pick it, right? It's like a fine matchup, I think, in that case. I think it's like maybe a mistake to do that.
Yeah, Syndra Elise. Ooh.
Yeah.
That's not fun for TF. Cleanses down next time you die. But we talked about how potentially take away Twisted Fate, because it actually opens up for Fiora being picked now by Team Solo Mid, unless Source wants to play it, but he doesn't want to play it because the TF is already there. So he can either pick it and actually get countered, or he can leave it open for Team Solo Mid and not have an answer this time. So this pick, even though it's so early in the draft, can end up being super, super important, because it sets up the pick for Hansa up in top lane to shut down Source.
Is this something that you were somewhat alluding to, that TSM can pick around the Trundle strategy? By going the aggressive foot, saying, right, we're going to lock in the TF and we double dare you, because if you want to go split pusher, we can sort you out.
Sure, I mean, that's part of it. When you've shown the trick once, you're not going to fall into the same trap and like give them Trundle TF again. I expected maybe a ban instead of actually early rotation, but I really like this so far.
Yeah, I think all they want to do probably just counterpick the top lane. We've seen teams that keep doing it, keep the top laner last, and I think if Hansa actually gets put in like a really good matchup here, that TF has like a lot of pressure on that matchup too, and then TSM is just gonna roll through like snowballing the top lane here.
And Origin cannot play around top lane in this game because of Twisted Fate and the Fiora pick we're expecting, or maybe a Quinn. If actually Source steals away Fiora, Quinn is gonna get locked in. Or you can take Quinn and try and be like, hey, you're not gonna pick Fiora because I can counter you. But then TF again joins in and that kind of ruins it. I need to see a strong mid lane pick that can bully early on for Power of Evil, because when you play against globals, you attack the global itself. You don't try and fight side lanes and then global joins in. Give me Ahri, Syndra, something that can actually kill TF together with Elise.
Syndra would be perfectly fine here, I think, but who knows? Maybe he's picking something else.
I mean, knowing Power of Evil, he might go cast it in, but that would just be almost too slow. We talked about this one, and I think this is the correct choice. You need to shut down Twisted Fate in lane. Oh, that's a whole another one.
Oh, whoa!
Whoa, okay.
That is actually locked in. So it is an assassin, but it is not one that we've seen a lot of. Duskblade of Drakthar.
I actually saw that. Like I saw Power of Evil play this and spam Talon like the entire time in solo queue. So I'm not sure
how did he do? Did he win you LP or did he cost you LP?
Both.
Yeah.
Very mixed results, but I think it's fine to do that maybe. But the problem is like the team. If the Talon falls behind, the game is over. If anything bad happens for Talon, this game is completely over because he can't split push.
Oh, so many people dislike it after the nerf that happened a while ago where he lost the silence. Because it's just so much harder for him to one-shot someone. You can flash away now. Even stunning him as a TF, if you pop your ulti when he engages on you, you get vision and you can actually stun him and run away. Oh, I think it's risky. I would probably gone Syndra, but hey, I mean, sometimes you gotta pull out the crazy stuff to surprise people.
Do you like that? Just early picking the channel and then picking Fiora into it?
I think
it's like a lot different with the TF, right?
I mean,
so,
the whole change is that you don't have to back up. Yes, when you get QSS and Iceborne Gauntlet, you can actually duel the Fiora 1v1, but it's not a 1v1 because TF is going to join in so often. We knew it was going to be a Fiora last pick. They were setting up with that early Twisted Fate. I really like this pick and ban phase from Team Solo Med. I think the Alistar pick for Yellowstar is his best champion for sure. He's a roaming support with an AD carry who can farm alone, and then the global to set up Hansa.
So the question is, will OG actually play around top lane pre-6 or not?
They have to camp mid almost. You got to snowball Talon. I mean, that's the way to win this game.
So Dexter, you've asked the question. Now you have to answer it with a prediction. You were wrong in game 2.
I'm gonna go with TSM again, you know? I think TSM, I don't see this Talon actually working out so well. And I think TSM just is gonna close out,
I agree.
Fan vote is currently in favor of TSM, growing slowly, 57%. All I get from Deficio, I agree. It's what I wanted, some confidence in the prediction.
I don't buy into the Talon hype at all. So I think Team Solo Mid is going to win this one.
Well, there you go. Strong words from Deficio. Ladies and gentlemen, the deciding game. We'll be right back with the casters in a couple of minutes.
Well, guys, welcome back to the Intel Extreme Masters World Championships. I'm Doa. With me, of course, are Uber and Papa, and not Papa Smithy, it's Monte Cristo.
I'm just everybody but Monte Cristo today.
It's been a long day. You're Deficio, you're Papa Smithy. But you know what, guys? It is do or die time for both TSM and Origin. We're going into game number 3 here in a match that will decide who moves on to face Ever in our last match of the day and who goes home. Their road at the Intel Extreme Masters done. We will see who will take it, who will end the day disappointed as we move on to Summoner's Rift for game 3 between Origin and TSM. And how about that, a Talon pick for Power of Evil? Wasn't expecting that one.
Yeah, a lot of kill pressure in the mid lane, though. Of course, exhaust coming in from Bjergsen to try and deal with that. But you're going to have to be very cautious of the 2v2 of Elise and Talon and put the Twisted Fate in Lee Sin. So we'll see what they can do. Bjergsen, they're definitely targeting him this game. If we have to point to one factor in TSM's success in this series, it has been Bjergsen's LeBlanc in game number 1. It is Corki doing very well in game number 2. But he has been that very scary carry for them, and they got to do something with that. This is actually a lane swap coming in, interestingly enough.
Soaz is trying to imply that he's the only person in the lane. You can actually see Sven and Mithy just chilling in the bushes, actually watching all the action unfold. So that's pretty well faked there by OG.
Now, they know there's a ward in that brush, too, so they're trying to actually convince them to send the Ezreal into the top lane and get that 2v2, but it looks like we are going to see recalls. Nope. So nothing going to happen, and the bait will not be taken there by TSM, but just a little bit clever.
Yeah, okay, so we will have that lane swap. But no dual lane versus dual lane this time. Sven and Mithy waiting, lurking, waiting for their chance to do some damage.
Yeah, you'll notice
might be waiting for a while.
You'll notice where they're standing too. They're standing out of range of that ward, and now they're going to get pinged, but they wait, and this is going to push Hauntzer and Svenskeren off that. So really nice play around the ward in the top side from Origin. A few mind games happening early on here, and we do see, of course, Soaz an amazing falling back towards their own Raptors. They're going to know this is quite safe. They don't see anybody coming to invade them yet. They're going to take a stab at that red buff, and they're going to get it. So looks like we are going to see a little bit of an early jungle advantage in the lane swap here from Origin. Braum will be attempting to disrupt. They got the ward down. This is going to be annoying.
Yeah,
yes, it will.
And again, this also messes with Svenskeren's path. Even once he's dealt with Mithy, he's behind, and he's maybe not even on the trajectory through the jungle that he would like to be. So all Mithy has to do, go in there, harass, back away.
Yeah, actually didn't do a whole lot there.
Yeah.
See Mithy backing off pretty quickly, but so really not any major edges taken. But Mithy and Sven will be pushing this tower in, and we do see actually Alistar in the mid lane right now. He actually forced Power of Evil's flash, so early gank.
Whoa,
Okay.
Goldtar, Power of Evil in trouble. There's the exhaust. Oh, but they just can't follow up. Yellowstar taking a lot of damage, but that was very close to first blood. At the end of the day, though, I mean, Bjergsen and Yellowstar using all of their summoners, so I don't know if you can really call that a successful gank.
Well, using all of their summoners, they do blow both the Power of Evils, and that's going to relieve a lot of that pressure. But what's going to happen is now they're going to be behind in terms of the turret push. So it's going to take some time for us to sort out exactly how all of this is going to play out on the map early, because they will be there at a little bit of a slower deficit. They're about half a tower behind now, and was that worth it? It's going to be the question that we look at going forward for the rest of this lane swap.
And this is the kind of game where it kind of hasn't really transpired in a standard way. It might not look crazy different to anyone watching, but of course with Svenskeren's jungle timing changed a little bit. Obviously now TSM's desire to try and play toward or around Power of Evil and shut him down. We might see a few little interesting anomalies pop up here and there. For example, this sort of slightly delayed tower timing here from TSM.
Yeah, Hauntzer is going to have to use his autos just to pull that one down. Is going to take a couple of turret shots.
Again.
Oh no.
That hurts a lot.
Yeah, again, you're absolutely right. We saw that happen earlier in this series. Not going to be punished for it.
Yeah,
but
just kind of simply...
It's the same thing we saw in game 1. Soaz gets a little bit more time with the minion wave, and these subtle advantages can really start to stack up, and they're going to have the faster pressure onto the tier 2 turret now, and that's probably going to mean a dragon for Origin if all goes according to plan.
Well, it is kind of just strange to see Hauntzer kind of just, miscalculate the amount of damage the minions are going to be able to do to the turret fast enough.
Well, he's trying to maximize that advantage, right?
Yeah,
and trying to make sure that he can deny as many minions as possible. But that came very, very close to a really big disaster for them. They're going to take Scuttle Crab and see if they're going to come into the mid lane. They know this Twisted Fate has no summoners.
Yeah.
There's also no mana for Power of Evil.
I don't know.
Not a lot for Bjergsen either. Got enough though, and they're going to flash. Cocoon misses. Bjergsen slowed down either way. That Braum passive will pop. There's the stun. First blood going over to Amazing. Power of Evil very low though, but no follow-up opportunities for TSM right now, and looks like Origin's going to get away with one.
Yeah, he's going to go back and pick up the Seeker's Arm Guard, really investing in some defensive stats right there, but it gets turned around. So the first gank of the game that is actually successful in terms of turning into a kill is going to be for Origin. Soaz is going to be able to push up Hansa right here. He's 2 levels up already, so this is definitely not going TSM's way early on.
And again, this is just a result of things that happened earlier on. It's funny how the implications of maybe a small thing like Haunter taking an extra tower shot or later timing on the tower can actually manifest in such a more impactful sort of manner later on there. And yeah, Bjergsen, of course, failing to... he dodged the Cocoon, but of course, didn't have his summoners up there as well. Really no good, but crazy to see how Soaz now really looking a lot more comfortable.
Yeah, Tiamat first here, so that'll be a heavy pressure lane. He's going to be able to push that lane in and try and contain this Twisted Fate.
And we have Amazing coming down through the Tri-Brush. Looks like they're going to go for a gank here. Mithy in position as well. We'll see if Doublelift and Yellowstar can respond. Yellowstar in trouble, getting locked up. Might get stunned, will get stunned. He's still, no, he doesn't have his flash. Mithy getting pushed back though. Yellowstar exhausted. They really want this kill. Can they get it? Yes, they can. Sven manages to pick off Yellowstar. Meanwhile, Sven scared and slowed down a bit. Has to ward hop over that pillar to get away.
Well, Origin just making the plays because they had this Fiora pushed up. They knew the Fiora was low. Power of Evil getting low though.
Yeah, Sven Scarin should almost get the finish of No Bjergsen with just a bit of a playing card salute as he turns his back. A fade away. Let's talk about that bottom lane though as well. You said Origin really pushing to make some plays here.
Yeah, and they push up the top all the way to the tier 2. We see Hanser pushing out very slowly. That unlocks the possibility of making plays on the opposite side of the map. Origin deals with that, but Svenskring comes back around. And again, just a matter of taking care of the champions with no flashes, cleans up Power of Evil. Bjergsen doesn't have to use his flash in that engagement. And now we're back up here. They're anticipating this dive, so Amazing is already present. Bjergsen is 6.
Yeah, he can go for this one pretty easily. There it is. Bjergsen ulting in, gets the gold card onto Amazing. Hanser jumps onto the spider right away. Amazing trying to get back under turret. Can't survive it though. A kill for TSM. Soaz in big trouble as well. It's a 5v1. Good luck, man. A troll got trolled.
Now that play works if you actually have the support up there. If the Braum is there, that goes entirely differently, but trying to stop a 5-man dive with only 2 proves a little bit more difficult. It looks like they're going to try and make a play on this anyway and see if they can pick off any stragglers.
Turret goes down.
I think OG want to try and pursue this one. Power of Evil off towards the side. A teleport coming in as well. A cheeky headbutt from Yellowstar, but there comes a Shadow Assault. Power of Evil gets himself in there. It's a lot of damage, and the Ignite ticks down on Haunter. Meanwhile, Doublelift out towards the side. Haunter surely falls. So does Doublelift, and OG did make the best out of a bit of a rough situation. Made the play. 2 kills on the backside.
I mean, we're really seeing a tit for tat here based around these objectives, and the dive here is definitely good for TSM. They're able to lock down some of these early kills, take out Amazing, follow up on Soaz, who's desperately just trying to clean out this wave, but he does not have any kind of reasonable wave clear at this point in time. And now TSM, they're going to push forward, but they don't anticipate the collapse, and they have to account for the respawn here. Very low death timers, and the teleport is still available, so Power of Evil able to get a great ultimate off there right in the middle and clean things up a little bit. Mithy is dead.
Huh, okay, well, that happened, I guess.
I don't know why Mithy was up there on the top side of the map alone.
I don't know. I mean, the split pushing Braum at about 8 minutes into the game, you know, it's standard stuff, standard stuff.
It's emerging meta, right?
That's right, yeah. Next level plays. Well, yeah, Mithy just decides to go get killed, and Origin helping TSM tie things up in the kill area. TSM, though, still about 1,000 gold ahead.
Yeah,
Due
again,
to that one turret.
Hanser's able to answer and actually pick up a lot of farm because Soaz was making that play, and he did have the long lane from tier 2 all the way to the enemy tier 1 to pick up some CS and actually get back into this game.
And you have to think that he's probably going to be looking in a different, similar direction build-wise this last game. Don't really know if he's needed to be in the backline building. Heads in, but Holtz is caught.
Yeah, that's right. Hanser getting Cocoon, dashes over the pillar, pops the ult onto Amazing. They're going to turn it around. Amazing just going a little bit too deep on that one. Hanser's going to escape.
Well, that really scared me that he followed up that repel like that. Right? I thought he might actually just straight up die, but nope.
Wouldn't be the first time we saw that today, but manages to escape this time around. TSM, due to a little bit of maybe over-aggression from Origin, keeps that bot lane tier 1 alive.
So taking a look perhaps at a Dragon right now, at least for the Rift Scuttler, they need to actually shove out this wave in the bottom if they want to get anything done. Big wave in the top side will be taken up by Soaz, and that will restore his farm advantage. Still Origin lagging a bit behind. And TSM now coming down, that they have pretty much all 5 members down on that bottom side, and Bjergsen's ultimate is available. He's going to use it.
Yeah, let's see what he finds. Comes in, gold card onto Mithy, gets his shield up just in time. And Yellowstar taking a lot of damage. Whoa, just gets destroyed by Origin. Sven picking up that kill. Nice knockup from the Braum ult onto Svenskeren. Sven looking for the double, he gets it. And man, this really has been just really back and forth from these teams.
I have no idea why you would follow that. You would actually use the gate right there. You come in, you're going to try and make a play onto a Braum who has Unbreakable.
Awkward.
Available and yet ready to use. So just frankly, a very easy turn right there for the likes of Origin. And if you want to fight like that, I mean, Double Lift is just not in position. Sven is a lot stronger at this point in time. The Ezreal's still trying to scale. And the response quite easy, and that is going to give Power of Evil more gold to work with. And what you don't want, the last thing you want in TSM, if you're TSM in this game, is a Fed Talon.
I don't know. Very, very strange move there coming in from Bjergsen. Yeah, like you said, he followed up on that gold card. It's a very low value, obviously, getting Mithy with that yellow card, and the follow-up obviously wasn't forthcoming. I mean, TSM at least get to push down towards mid here. It is a low tower. I think I'm going to be able to cherry-pick that one later on here, but communication definitely not seeming like it was at a premium with Bjergsen going so deep for such an interesting target.
I mean, Sven has no mana, and there is no other wave clear, so TSM can just go ahead and push this one up and try and take it. So in the end, they are going to be able to get a little bit of an edge here once again, winning that tower race. 3 to 1. So at least they're able to take out some of these turrets in the early game, even if they have sacrificed a couple more kills.
I mean, they've gotten a little bit more mem pressure on. That's what you want, you know, when you have a Twisted Fate in the mid lane. But, you know, I've been watching this series now, and you just kind of wonder, okay, well, how is Origin going to make up the difference now?
Well, they're only 500 gold behind in spite of the fact that they're 2 towers behind. So if Origin can figure out a way to get a couple of these turrets down, they will have a nice, healthy advantage again. But they do have to be cautious because now this is Bjergsen's time to shine. They're going to be overextending in lanes. You're playing Twisted Fate. Need to make the plays now.
Pretty much. Origin pushing ahead to this mid lane tier 1 of TSM. Looks like TSM was thinking about maybe going for the Dragon, but they need to defend the mid lane right now. Looks like they won't have too much trouble doing that. Culling used. Sven just wants to keep the pressure on.
I mean, we see a kill discrepancy in favor of Origin here, but it's important to realize that this is more off the back of overextensions from TSM and bad shot calling than anything else. You can see that TSM have been able to get every single one of those outer turrets for OG, so that's definitely good progress for them. I mean, Origin only with the one themselves, that's also why, of course, a bit of a gold lead for TSM. Now, OG are going to look to try and even the ledger here on this one, but I'd be surprised if TSM want to relinquish that kind of lead easy. Well, you can see them moving bot.
They have to be really careful about this collapse.
Yeah, Yellowstar takes a bit of damage. Origin can just collapse on him instead. Bjergsen uses his Twisted Fate ultimate, looking for an angle to come in, but TSM on the run already.
Double Lift is in the pit.
I don't know what Double Lift was doing there. Tries to get away, can't do it. Power of Evil with an easy kill there. Another kill onto that Talon. And that was a very, very sloppy attempt at an engage from TSM. That was painful to watch, man.
Well, Origin pulled back because they knew the collapse was imminent, but the collapse was so slow and so sloppy from TSM that it allowed them to get that advantage. And yeah, you're right. Alistar right now only level 5, so how are you even going to make that play? The Talon is a major threat, and they're just going to get reversed here. The mid tower is destroyed, and Origin will be on the retreat.
W took a dragon hit there as well. Obviously, they got aggro when he was there, so not ideal positioning for him as well. Just got slapped. You can see it here.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out how he even got into the pit in the first place. I mean, Hanser isn't there, so Origin groups up. TSM is already split. Doublelift is coming around. Arcane shifts. Well, now you don't have the Arcane shift. He triggers the Dragon as a result. And Power of Evil's just waiting with his ultimate. And that's a very easy kill.
I think he wanted to be kind of a tricky Doublelift and come over the wall if Origin tried to back up to Tri-Brush, but did not work out at all. TSM still able to grab that Dragon, though. That's going to be their first of the game. So getting a little bit of something in return. That seems to be the case with anything that happens in this game.
Doublelift's Revenge Part 3.5.
But TSM, a little bit down in gold, but not really enough to matter a whole lot.
Well, here's what's scary. Sven has 4 kills, and this Talon has 6 out of 7 kill contributions, so their carries are definitely rolling. They're going to have the option to take this Rift Herald, and if Origin can use this Herald to the same effect that they've used it for most of this series, they can just play around Sven's ability to siege right now, and it should work out nicely. You know, I like the fact that Amazing is prioritizing these ranged junglers because I think it fits in very well with Origin's Rift Herald-based early game strategy because he can join up, get more auto attacks down, and play safely from range on the siege, and it's been really effective in taking tier 2s.
It is cool to see, and yeah, it has been working pretty well. They're going to go for the tier 1 in bottom lane, it looks like. Amazing over on that side of the map. We'll see if they stick with the plan. But yeah, I gotta say, like, Origin is using the Rift Herald a little bit differently than, you know, I think we've seen a lot
No, I really like
in the past, and it's been effective.
Yeah, I really like what they've been doing. So as also with a faster Iceborne Gauntlet, gets that before completing his Sunfire Cape. He's not in quite such a hole this game. In fact, he does have a farm advantage. And that means that he's able to open up and actually use that item a little bit more effectively in the early parts of this game. He'll be able to trade more efficiently. Doublelift there, just going to get the True Shot Barrage blocked. And here comes the Herald push.
Yep. I mean, Unbreakable obviously able to cut away the True Shot Barrage. And that's really what TSM are relying on there. It's not as if they're going to come up and try and defend that thing manually. So, of course, you know, fairly straightforward, but clever by Mithy. And again, it's almost like a free tower at this part of the game for Origin, especially with how I've been using that Rift Herald. Pick it up. In fact, they actually picked up 2 since doing that. So now even on turrets here with TSM, and of course the gold lead reflecting that. OG sneaking out in front. And yeah, like you said, Soaz actually not so much in a hole, looking more self-sufficient this game, but also being mobbed a lot less with the threat of Power of Evil in the mid lane.
Yeah, it has made a big difference. And now this game is going to come down to who gets the picks, whether it's going to be Power of Evil or if it's going to be Bjergsen.
I mean, Power of Evil's got a pretty great start in that regard, but Bjergsen, now with that finished Zhonya's Hourglass, has a little bit more in terms of opportunity, I guess, in terms of choices and engages he can go for.
Yeah, but the Tiamat Yomu's is really scary on the Talon. You have just so much speed and so much burst damage between those 2 items. Of course, you can just weave those Tiamat active hits between all of your auto attacks, and that makes it very difficult for a team that really doesn't have very much armor right now. Certainly the Iceborne Gauntlet for Doublelift is going to help, but when you're this far ahead with the Ignite, not going to help too much. What? Wow, that was weird. Amazing, like, threw out a cocoon in spider form. I've never actually seen that.
I mean, it makes more sense if you think about it.
He stutter stepped and then shot a cocoon, but I never actually saw him go.
I think Uber's right, man. It does make more sense. It makes a lot more sense that the cocoon's coming out in spider form.
Absolutely.
Patch change incoming. Swapping the abilities there. Well, Origin putting a lot of pressure onto TSM right now. And they are just getting the vision in, taking over the jungle, and they're going to go for this tier 2 up in top lane, it looks like.
Yeah, why not? This is how they've been playing. But here's where they falter in the previous games. That Bjergsen will teleport in, and then 2 of them will go forward and 3 of them will go back.
Yeah.
So the concept has been there for Origin. Everybody being on the same page as to whether they're going to engage or they're going to back off and just re-engage on the siege. That's what's been lacking, and here we go.
Well, Bjergsen coming in looking for a kill onto Soaz under this turret. Looks like he may get it, taking the turret hits right now. Soaz a little bit low. He's a tanky guy. Nice pillar. Ultimate pop, though, for Hanser. He'll get the kill. And wow, even though Bjergsen and Hanser were slowed down that much, the zonies from Bjergsen, the power, the heal from Hanser's ultimate was just enough to keep alive. And they're trapped, yep.
We've seen him
Gold
here
card.
before, I think, now. I mean, Hornsey going to try and back away, but Bjergsen and he, they're both going to be a bit of a twin grade here. It's easy to cut my one.
Yep. Oh, hello. Svenskeren over the wall, kicks Sven away. Yellow Star right there. Knock up with the headbutt pulverize. Amazing has to flash out there. Mithy knocked back towards Svenskeren, but not really a big concern. Yellow Star, pops that ultimate, taking a lot of damage. Sven getting tons of free autos and a pretty easy kill.
What was the goal of that engagement from TSM? There's a tower there. No one was actually low. Power of Evil is busy split pushing in the top lane. Here comes the True Shot barrage to try and clear out the wave, but how much damage is going to be done to this inhibitor turret at a mere 19 minutes into this game?
The answer is a lot, but
well, that'll heal up over time, but still, that was everybody just piling in very slowly into the bottom side to try and attack that tier 2. But when we're talking about a Lee Sin, an early game Ezreal, and an Alistar, I don't see what play they could have possibly made.
well, it was a bit confusing too because Hanser and Bjergsen got a pretty decent gank down onto Soaz, and then this happened. Okay, so we'll see the
Soaz
game.
played this really well.
Yeah.
He hides behind the turret right here, gets the frozen domain around so he can juke just a little bit. They position in a way that this pillar is actually extremely effective, just locks them into that range. They get the kill, get the heal off, of course, with the grand challenge, so they're able to pull back, but everybody is already responding. And Soaz bought time with that pillar, and that's all he needed to do to secure these last 2 kills. Okay, so you give this one up. You say, okay, well, we made a mistake, but look what's going on the top side with this talent. Svenskeren comes in, he just kicks Sven the opposite way.
I don't know.
Yellow Star going to try and follow up, but he doesn't actually hit Sven right here, pushes Mithy out. I mean, this is just terrible, terrible skirmishing from TSM.
And it's an Ezreal without a Muramana. I don't know what Svenskeren and co were trying to salvage from that situation. It'll get some value back, sure, but I mean, you've lost your 2 biggest threats right now on your team, and you're still trying to fight. Obviously, at a massive disadvantage.
At this point, I'm expecting Monty to like just be standing outside of Bjergsen's window tonight, just like glaring in.
No. Yeah, and we did see Origin pick up that dragon during replay. And no, I actually think Bjergsen's been playing pretty well over the course of this series. He has definitely been the shining strong spot here for TSM, but the shutdown that he's experienced in this game, you know, he's been overzealous on a lot of these Twisted Fate ults, and Origin has been responding better than any other game in this series so far.
So Doublelift's window then. Although you may have done this before, actually. I could see a scenario where this has occurred already.
Well, you know, I don't get that last shot call. I understand why you go for that. I think Soaz just outplayed them under the turret when they wanted to pick up that kill in another tier 2. And that's fine. You can give up a couple of kills, but if you start giving up all these objectives to the talent in the top side and then more kills afterwards, that's where it gets really unfortunate.
Nope, Bromwald didn't really connect there. They got the flash from Doublelift at least.
Yeah, double QSS now, worth noting too, for Origin on Power of Evil and Sven. So we're going to see a lot of these plays neutralized, but Amazing just gets caught out and killed, and here comes the follow-up.
Nice pick, yeah. Bjergsen trying to get behind the team, gonna go right onto Sven there, gets the gold card, gets the Zonias, gives Yellowstar time enough to catch up to Mithy. Hanser comes in with that ultimate, another kill for TSM. Svenskeren trying to chase down Sven. Nice kick, they get him. And TSM answering with a really nice team fight and chase of their own.
Yeah, much, much better play right there. Bjergsen has the early Zhonya's Hourglass because he was in lane against the Talon, which makes a play like that possible. Much smoother engage. Of course, even with the QSS, this may be a bit of a preemptive Baron. There is still a Talon on the map right here.
There is, and there's also a Trundle as well. Being annoying, blocking people into the pit. Power of Evil has his ultimate. Baron getting very, very low. Yellowstar just knocks him out. Power of Evil comes in with his ult. Doesn't get a lot done with it, though. Just gets caught and taken down. They're going to turn back onto the Baron, take it. And TSM suddenly looking like they're in much better control of this game.
Yeah, so let's take a look at how this play actually developed here because we didn't get to see the beginning of it. So Mithy here on this side, Amazing. There's a ward right there, and he decides to do Raptors by himself. He has no vision in that brush, so just a really easy gold card and burst it down from range. And then the follow-up here from Bjergsen's very good. Gets the ultimate in, smacks the gold card onto the target without the QSS, instant Zhonya's Hourglass, and then the follow-up here, Hanser gets there with the teleport. Much, much better coordination from TSM than we've seen previously. Svenskeren gets the angle, kicks Sven back, and they're able to take that Baron. So this is TSM's window back into this game.
Just want to point out as well, for those that have been wondering, like we were having intermittently a visual bug with Amazing, where he's actually in human form but appears to still be in spider form. So that explains our qualms earlier on. Right?
The stutter stepping right there. Sometimes we get these spectator bugs.
It's easier to stutter step with 8 legs, you know?
Or as I have learned to call them from Papa Smithy, hidden features.
That's right.
Easter eggs.
It's the joy of casting. Discover hidden features in various games.
Yeah, the hidden feature of being able to shoot a cocoon in spider form.
What a great hidden feature.
Even though he's not in spider form. Just looks like it.
I missed
the spider form disguise.
I missed the cross map blitzcrank hooks. That was one of my favorite hidden features. The global taunt as well. Yeah.
So I think the issue with Amazing is intermittent, but you can see the animation, of course, of when he changes form. You get a bit of an idea, but it's a bit of guesswork for us if it's going to keep persisting here. But TSM want to press in towards his middle in a turret here, OG. Not really set up to defend it. Power of Evil's elsewhere. He's in the bottom lane, and TSM coming forward.
Yeah, they're going to continue to clean up these towers. They're going to match that score. Their Baron play going quite well. They've managed to retake a gold lead in this game. It's going to be quite useful, considering that they're still trying to power up this Ezreal into that very threatening late game form. And all of the work that is done by Power of Evil is now sort of for naught. You can have this powerful Talon, but Talon is still not going to be particularly strong late.
Oh, here we go. Bjergsen coming in with his ultimate. They grab Soaz. Nice pick by TSM. They're going to be able to take this tier 2 turret as well. And Soaz maybe kind of overstaying his welcome.
No MR again.
Turret.
I mean, there's no way you can defend that tower. You just have to fall back on that. The rest of his team wasn't there. So easily caught and dispatched.
Big push coming down the top lane too for TSM right now. There's a huge minion wave up there that's going to have to be dealt with at some point. TSM though just pressuring their way into the base. Power of Evil gets caught a little bit, has to run away with his ultimate, can't make it out though. Calling used. Hanser a little bit caught. Riposte, Amazing. Gets kicked away by Svenskeren. TSM back on the inhibitor now, and they're going to grab this bottom inhibitor at 26 minutes already. Man, as much as Origin seemed to have the edge a few minutes ago, TSM has taken it back and then some.
Well, to TSM's credit, they really did. That one pick on Amazing, ever since they got that, they rolled through very efficiently, took the Baron, played out the rest of those tier 2 turrets nicely, and were able to take the inhibitor. So everything has been clean from that point forward.
And Soaz tried to read into the TSM's pressure towards the bot side. I mean, we'll talk about that later. Here is that replay.
Oh, Soaz. What are you doing there, buddy?
Well,
he's not there anymore, is he?
He's got no magic resist again, of course. This is not where his itemization path is taking him. So obviously concerned when Bjergsen is able to get in there and do the damage. And they press forward a bit.
Yeah, the hard part about being Talon here is you have Tempest and Cripple, which will reveal him, and you have the TF ult, which will also reveal him. So it's not the easiest to be hiding around your ultimate right here. It does get the QSS off, but Svenskeren able just to wait. Doesn't actually have to reveal him right there.
Yep. It's a very sneaky catch there. TSM tries to go for that dragon, but it looks like they have to back off for the moment. It would be a 4v5. Hanser could come down anytime he wants, so he's got that teleport. Just split pushing up and top. And again, you know, I mean, this is kind of a remedy of the problem that we saw with TSM earlier today, where they just wanted to always group up. But now we see the 4-1 split push, and it's going to be really effective too.
If they can pull it off. I feel like what we've seen from both of these teams are very brief moments of clarity, clouded by tens of minutes of questionable decisions.
Seems that way. Well, Hanser, questionable decision going that far after Soaz. After Soaz has the QSS and Hanser's just going to die. Yellowstar, the rest of TSM trying to make a play out of this one, but they have to run almost immediately. They might be in trouble.
They don't want to
Pillar
fight
could
this.
do a lot of work here. Soaz coming in. Where's that Pillar cooldown?
They're still waiting for the rest of the team.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, they trap Yellowstar for the moment. Double it on the run. Bramalt captures Yellowstar. Culling used. He's tanky, but not enough. Bjergsen, meanwhile, going for the Nexus turrets. So TSM trying to get something out of this at least, and they'll get a Nexus turret.
Yeah, they had the super minions there, and Bjergsen has the Lich Bane, and he's doing a lot of work, and everybody just has to run back right now, and they force a TP.
Yeah.
See, TSM actually really investing a lot in holding OG up, because Svenskeren is still harassing Mithy as well, and Doublelift almost sacrificed himself just to keep OG interesting shape to take his catnip. But you can see now Sven still set back up
TP.
here. He's kept in position. Now TSM TP comes in.
Yeah, Sven could be in a lot of trouble here. Tries to get the damage done on this. Oh, wow. Doublelift comes in. Hanser picks up the kill anyway. Meanwhile, Amazing trying to slow up Svenskeren a bit. Here comes Bjergsen. Gold card on to Mithy. That's a lot of damage coming out of that TF. Exhaust onto Amazing. Bjergsen's not done yet. Svenskeren coming in looking for a Q. Doesn't quite land it. But TSM still looking pretty good here. Power of Evil, very sneaky. Uh-oh. Oh. They see him. Okay, they see him. Yep. Running, and all right, uses the ultimate.
You'll start with a taunt coming through, too.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's the long chase for Power of Evil.
All right.
Zipping around the map. Hanser is running parallel right now, but they're not actually pushing any advantages. They're
just
trying to take Power of Evil. There's the Yomu's Ghost Play.
Okay.
Hello.
All right, found him. Hanser's had enough of these shenanigans.
And even if they didn't, I guess, get the kill on those Power of Evil, they still held him up as well from recalling, which is important now as the rest of TSM are reassembling a bit. They recall back from the blue buff area of OG after the scrappy fight, and now we're starting to witness the potential for Bjergsen to sneak in through the back door and win the game via those means. Only one Nexus turret remains for OG, and now TSM force the issue and go for Baron.
Yeah, they're taking the Baron at spawn. It couldn't have come at a better time to get that kill onto Power of Evil. If he had been able to recall at all through any of that, this may be a lot more difficult, but as it is, it will be uncontested, and TSM should be cruising to a win.
Man, such a strong start for Power of Evil on that Talon, but it has just gone downhill since there. And Monty, you have to be careful when you talk about TSM cruising to a win today, man. I said the same thing earlier. I said it this morning.
How wrong we were.
That's right. I didn't think I'd be wrong. And you're probably right. You're probably right here, but I'm just saying you never know.
I'd like to be able to know, but I guess that's not going to be possible today.
Nope. It's possible to know. TSM trying to push into the mid lane here. Soaz gets caught by that gold card. Amazing. Considering about Mithy goes deep. Wow, pops that ultimate here. Power of Evil caught as he tries to go to the back lines, gets destroyed by Hanser's ultimate. Nice heal onto TSM there too. True Shot Barrage comes through for a little bit more damage onto Amazing. But things are good. Things are real good for TSM right now.
They tried for the Hail Mary assassination on Ezreal, but he has an Iceborne Gauntlet. He has a Sterix Gauge. I like the fact that Doublelift went into that item, and he has that. That means that, of course, with the ultimate coming in from Fiora, it's not going to be an option. He heals right back up, and that's a great itemization for a Fed Talon.
It's desperation as well from OG. They're trying to go in towards TSM. They needed to pick him up, but now they're running out of options, and they're running out of players as well. So Svenskeren comes forward. He's getting a little bit of damage done, but Haunter just jockeys back. Subjugate being used on that Fiora, but they come forward in waves. TSM renew their push for victory here, and they're hanging on just next towards this Nexus. They're going to go for the turret. I think they can finish the game here.
Yeah, Nexus getting taken down really fast, and TSM getting pushed back, but they've got enough damage. TSM moves on. They stay alive at IEM Katowice. They are still possible world championships or world champions again. They might repeat.
They might.
Maybe.
It's a possibility.
Maybe. We'll see.
We will see.
They're alive.
They have to go up against Ever now.
That's going to be a good rematch.
It will be an interesting rematch. I think I have no idea who's going to win that series. We did see TSM take a very early advantage but be unable to close, and Ever actually fighting back from 10K deficit and actually winning those team fights. So they can eliminate some of those power picks. Perhaps they can, or comfort picks rather, for Ever. Perhaps they can make a stab here at the semifinals.
And of course, for TSM, it's definitely a matchup they want. Best of three, going to eliminate those potential for, best of one throw situations. We get to see them go yet up again against Ever. It's going to be an absolute cracker.
Yeah, I mean, it was a very back and forth series, but in the end, TSM just barely pulls it off. But wow, no lack of excitement there in that best of three. But I think it may be time for us to break that one down a little bit more as we see TSM shaking hands with Origin. It was a good match either way, but I believe we're ready to send it back to the analyst desk to see what they thought about that game.
Indeed we are, Doa, and it was a a game that really summarized the entirety of the series and these teams' strengths and weaknesses. We have 2 replays that truly actually summarize the entire match. You can see Team Solo Mid still celebrating their victory, and they've just walked past Origin. TSM have earned themselves a rematch. I want to pull up the first replay just immediately. It's a good highlight of the strengths of the Talon when punishing a team for overcommitting. Deficio, you really like this little invade, didn't you?
This invade, to me, makes almost 0 sense because they're only able to engage onto the Braum, and then we can just roll the clip, because what's going to happen is that Yellow Star decides to commit with his full combo, but he's Alistar, he has no follow-up. Like, he's now useless. He combos where they can't dive anyway, and he actually just ends up killing himself. And these kind of small invades we saw in the entire BO3, honestly, where teams are over-committing for things. Later on, Doublelift was like pulling the dragon and then dying to Talon in the middle of the river, and there are just multiple missteps. Power Weaver walks into mid lane and dies as well, a bit randomly, and there was a lot of over-commitments, which is actually why the Talon could have worked, even though it was, on paper, a bad pick. Because almost every champion Team Solo Mid had could actually deal with the Talon, especially late game. That's what we saw in the last few team fights. But man, what a messy game. It was...
Dexter, what was your take on that performance from both squads?
I'm a bit like sad that one camp lost the game, because when Amazing overstepped at the Raptors.
Pull the replay up. We actually have that second
we have that?
ready.
Okay, so
and Dexter, you can talk me through the heartbreak.
I mean, that's actually like a heartbreak. Yeah, Amazing is gonna take this camp here right now, and they just collapse on him. I mean, Jurks is ready. You have to repel the gold card there to maybe survive, but he dies. His team is gonna get followed up on from the TF. They're gonna collapse. They're gonna take the Baron. With that Baron, they're actually gonna just close out the game, and there's nothing you can do after this to come back.
What is the value in even starting the Raptor camp? No matter what, that small amount of gold you can get has 0 value for Amazing at this state in the game.
Yep.
He walks in alone. The rest of his team has already walked back into the river. He can see Doublelift in mid lane. He's like trying to walk around him. He has no vision because there's a pink ward in the Raptor bush just above him. So he just walks in blind to do Raptors.
Yep.
Like, at this point, Origin were actually able to pick people off. They had the Trundle getting QSS, so he could stand. So now she for some reason, but he could stand in the 1v1. Like,
hold that thought.
You were winning.
I want to talk a little bit more about this Trundle and the Talon as well, but for now, the returning, defending Intel Extreme Masters World Champion is on stage with Shox. It's Björksen.
Thank you very much indeed, the defending champion here. But that was a tough series. I want to talk holistically about the day and the series in just a minute. I do want to touch on the Talon pick coming out of Power of Evil. How did you guys kind of react to that, and what did you make of it?
It was very unexpected because we haven't really played against a Talon other than maybe some solo queue games, but I think we adapted well mostly, and we had 2 exhausts. I built Zhonya's very early, and Doublelift built the Gauntlet and the Sterix. So we just made sure that our carries were just not going to die, and that was really our biggest plan.
Well, in that moment, it did come together. You guys fought back in this game, and throughout the day, you've actually had really good moments as a team, but it keeps coming back to the fact that the shot calling seems to falter at the most important times. How are you identifying those problems, and can you overcome them as the tournament goes on?
Well, it's not just the shot calling, it's how we react to the shot calling, how we overall as a team decide what we're going to do. And we made a lot of wrong decisions today, and in this series and the previous series, and we just talked about it backstage, and the only thing we can really do is we know what we should be doing in scrims, sometimes in other games we are doing the right thing, so we know we can do the right thing. It's just about remaining and keeping our confidence. I think moving forward, if we have more confidence, we'll make the right decisions.
Well, I think getting a win here under those circumstances on this stage will be very important for you personally. Do you feel it clicking? Do you feel it evolving back to the peak of where you were at before World Championships?
It's a bit hard to say because we kind of have our random moments, like you said, because against Ever we had a really good early game and a really bad later part of the game. Whereas these games, I think we lost almost every early game, but we're doing a lot of good things to come back. So if we can just kind of have that overall game where we play well throughout, that would be amazing. But it really also shows that we have the potential to play well on every single stage of the game. It's just about doing it. It's the hard part.
I also want to pick your brain about OG, because to me there's a lot of similarities in the way you guys have come into the season, obviously coming from a high and then not finding the groove. Is there anything you can identify as similarities in what they're struggling with?
Yeah, when we played against Origin, they're definitely, or at San Jose, they're considered pretty much the best team or second best team in Europe. And we both kind of faltered and become low in our standings in our respective regions, but it's just adapting to the roster changes. We both had roster changes and adapting to the new meta and how the things have changed in the new season. But I do think that one thing about TSM and OG is that we've been good teams for so long, and I think that's gonna continue to happen the more we get to practice.
It's going to shine through, you believe. Of course, you don't have a lot of break because you're going up against Ever in that game to get into the semifinals. Another best of 3 after this. You had it almost in that first game. After everything that you've been through here today and played versus OG in those full 3 games, how confident are you that you're not going to make the same mistakes?
I think actually from the first game, we do feel very confident going in again because we all knew that we had the game, and it was our game to really lose or our game to close out, and we didn't close it out. So I think in the best of series, we're definitely going to be closing out these games, and we'll beat Ever.
All right. Well, always a pleasure, Björksen. Thank you very much, and good luck in that next best of 3. Experts, take it away.
Thank you very much, Shucks. Congratulations to Björksen for at least staying alive in the tournament. There's another best of 3 that needs to get played. Let's go back to the overall picture. Origin tried something a bit fishy. They surprised everybody with the Trundle first time round. It worked out. The Trundle was still doing a job in the context of this team. It was buying time, it was pulling resources, but this time around it didn't work out. What went so wrong? Let's exclude the mistake from Amazing. You know, do you think that Comp still would have had the tools to push through and maybe take TSM down?
I think it would have been tough because late game Talon runs out of options of targets he can kill. Hourglass, Twisted Fate, and Iceborne Gauntlet Israel. Like, Israel is the AD carry who can actually itemize against an assassin. In many ways, it becomes super difficult to take them down. Also, Trundle, his purpose in this game was by no means the same as in the last one, because last one was when they had the TF, it was to shut down split push. This one was basically just to try and go even. I actually wonder if Hansa just played Quinn into it, he would probably completely stomp that lane, and there wouldn't have been much Source could do on Trundle. So that, to me, was a bit of a lackluster pick, but they got a lot of kills because Team Solo Mid were all over the place and picking random fights. Commitment in the bottom lane, where suddenly they dive Source on the tower. Takes quite a while for Björksen and Hornster to kill him, and then the rest of the team kind of runs down and starts doing camp as well. Then they kind of farm a few minions, and then they end up dying. So like, there were so many bad decisions that the Talon, again, technically could have snowballed. But when you make the bad decision yourself as the team with Talon, the game is over, and that's the big difference.
And what does this mean for Origin and Europe? Because it was the expected result, let's be fair. What's your takeaway from seeing Origin on stage?
So I think just from watching their team for like multiple weeks right now, every single game, it's a reoccurring issue that I think Power of Evil is a really good player, but his style doesn't really fit the team, I think, because he doesn't really bring pressure to the team. And I think the top side right now for Origin is like very questionable, and the only thing that they have going for them is like the bot lane. The bot lane is like the stars of their team right now. Whereas usually in summer last split, their Source actually had like really good TPs and could turn around games and everything, and that's like lacking right now. And especially like with the pressure from mid lane, I think that it's a champion pool issue, I think, because maybe Power of Evil needs to pick up some more lane dominant champions. He could have picked that Syndra in that game right now, and Syndra and Elise together should murder TF straight up in that lane. He should not survive this lane. Make sure you take the tower and then you shut down the TF. But I think it just, yeah, even when the drafts are good, I just feel that there's like a lack of chemistry, I think, in their team.
The synergy's just not there. It just doesn't feel like everything is gluing together properly.
The thing is, even if you just replace a player with like a better one, you don't know what the other player did for their team. I mean, just even if you're behind, like maybe like for like motivation or something, or keeping everything together, like an emotional leader, just him being there, in the like the presence of him being there is like really important. And I mean, I've played in like a lot of different teams where I think that there are some people that just like have this aura in the team that calms everyone down and makes decisions somehow better. I don't know how to explain it, but it's just like the cohesiveness of like the entire team.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Just some props there to Monty and Doe as well, taking some photos of the fans here in Katowice, Poland. Gentlemen, just before we go to an ad break, I do want to talk about the next match. Team Solo Mid stay on stage. Ever are actually setting up just behind us. They're going toe-to-toe in a best-of-3. Earlier, TSM should have beaten Ever, but it was their mistake that cost the game. After more games and a best-of-3 in like multiple hours, how much does your focus go, let's say Dexter, in trying to keep that attention?
I mean, for right now, it's pretty obvious that Ever, like the strong point that they had, the drafting, is not there, because I don't like the blind pick Vladimir, and I think
no one likes that.
No one likes it
at all.
The key thing, obviously, is I think Bart. Like Bart, just take that champion away, take it out, and you take so much away from like ever as a team, how they play with it and how the support player like facilitates everything for the entire team. It takes away so much from their playmaking potential and forces them into like really bad situations. So I think Bard is going to be like a really important thing for TSM to consider taking away and just keep doing what they did. I mean, maybe the focus is not going to be there, but I don't know. It's like, that's like my two advice, would just throw out Bard off the picture, force him into like something really uncomfortable, and it's fine.
Well, we'll see what they decide to do. Defisha, you're actually going to be casting the game, so I'm not going to let you share your opinion right now. You can unleash it a little later in the day. We will be going to an ad break very shortly while the next two teams are setting up. And if you listen very closely, you can hear the new ESL song. It's called My Story. Go check out the ESL YouTube. It was made by the Elite Mob. Guys, we'll be right back with TSM versus ESC Ever.